Conserving natural resources. That is how to save this natural resources efficiently. So what we are going to discuss here is what we need to do to conserve, to keep these natural resources. So conservation is what? It is a proper management of natural resources to prevent its exploitation, destruction, or degradation. What does it mean? Is that whatever God has given us, nature has given us, we need to manage it in such a way so that all the exploitation, destruction, and degradation can be stopped. So conservation is not one activity. It is a sum total of activity. So this is sum total of activity which can derive benefits from natural resources, but at the same time, its excessive use can be stopped, right? So we need to, first of all, conserve it, and the excessive use, for example, the forest, we want to keep it. We can cut it, but not at the cost of the over exploitation, over excessiveness. So the excessive mining we are doing, excessive agriculture we are doing, excessive forest deforestation we are doing, that needs to be stopped. So we need to use them efficiently. And for example, if you are requiring 10 something, so you are taking 50, so that means 40 you are taking extra. What you have seen today, whenever you go to a restaurant, whenever you go to any hotel, you will just eat half of the food, and you will keep the half like that. You will leave that food. Not even a single core should be left over. But just because we are rich, just because we have some class, we just leave food. So we are wasting this. The first step is we need to conduct an examination, and that is called a resource audit. For example, this picture shows how as a human being we are exploiting and finishing the natural being. So this forest is like our mother. So first thing we have to do is a resource audit. And what is this resource audit? That whatever resources are there, we need to examine it. We need to find the difference. That is, I just told you that if somebody requires 10 and somebody is taking 50, so with audit you will know that 40 is extra. Now you can take proper measure. Now you can take action to conserve it. That something is used excessively, which shouldn't be there. For example, let us take an example of energy use audit. Energy, for example, if air conditioning system is there, you might be having ventilation system, you might be having some lights, ventilation system along with this light system. How much sunlight is coming inside your house or room or building? What we do in daytime also, we close the curtain and we use light only. Always use fan when it is not required. So we can plan the saving of energy. How? This is the audit and the measure we can take. So first thing is this assume it to be a tube light. Now we are not cleaning it, so it will give just half light. So you have to have another light also. Air condition, ventilating system, all these need to be maintained properly every 6 months or 3 months or yearly. Whenever you are not using anything like tube light and a fan, etc., don't use it, because here you have motors. Everywhere when you have motor, the power consumption increases multifold. So energy conservation is the key. That is, we need to conserve the energy, and whatever is producing energy or whatever is using the energy, we have to conserve it. For example, fossil fuel, you will be able to save this fossil fuel. One day you think, okay, let's go and have fun. So if it is not required, don't go. You will save money, you will save the fossil fuel. So in corona times, you have seen in lockdown, people were inside, and with very little resources, they learn how to live. Okay. Soil conservation or land conservation. So land is soil. First thing is, what we need to see here is soil erosion. We have to stop soil erosion through wind, through water, through glacier, Himnadiya. This soil erosion take place. That is the upper layer of the earth crust. This is taken by these naturally flowing. First of all, the fertility will be lost. Fertility. And when the fertility is lost, that land will be unuseful. So we will not be able to grow crops. We will not be able to use it for many various purposes. So why we need soil conservation? First thing is, the fertility has to be maintained. Every soil need to have proper nutrients, proper minerals, so that the crop can come. So we can add the organic manure and fertilizers. This you can use. That is, the chemicals has to be as least as possible. And then what you can do is, when you put all these, fertility, you want it to be as less as possible. Then second thing is multiple cropping or rotation of cropping. That is, the crop which can induce, especially the nitrogenous part. It can feed the soil with new nutrients. Second thing is grazing. See, in a developing and underdeveloping country, we leave these animals to graze, to feed. So they eat all the plants and grass. So when the grass and plants are finished, what will happen to the land? Because the roots of these plants and trees, they are grabbing the soil. If we remove this forest, what will happen? Reforestation. I am saying, if you cut one tree, you plant 10 trees. Because one tree, it takes a lot of time to grow. So we just cut it. So we need reforestation. Planting of trees is as much required, because vegetation is all responsible for non-soil erosion. It grabs the soil. Terracing is what? It's especially employed in the hilly areas, mountainous region. For example, you see here, there is a slope. Now if the water comes or the air comes or the wind comes, what will happen? This is a slope. So because of this angle and the gravity, the water will come downpouring or coming through this land very, very fast. So when the speed of water and wind will increase, the soil erosion will be multifold. So we don't want this water to rapidly run over or run down the slope. So we can make the flat fields. Then the other thing is contour plowing. So now plow perpendicular to the slope like this. This is the perpendicular way. The slope is like this and you have to do perpendicular. So what you can do is, and especially the hilly areas, I'll show you the picture. See, this is how they have made this slope as flat, and also put a kind of blockage here, so that when the water comes, it stays, and also it doesn't take that soil along with it. So it will trap water and also stop the soil erosion by the strong rain water, especially in the hilly areas, because hilly areas find more rain. Water conservation. So water, you will say, it is everywhere. Ocean, 3/4 of our globe is covered with water. 75% we have water. But the thing is, this is not usable. You cannot drink it. Only 3% and less, 2.5% to be very precise. And most of the water is in glacier form, snow form. Canada and up, the two different the Mahadweeps. Okay. So we have continents, which two upper continents on the poles, they have all the snow only. So the water conservation and management is very important, because this water, without water you cannot live. You use it for drinking, and your body is mostly water. Neither the plants nor the animals, without water we cannot live. First thing is what? What we have to do? What are the methods for water conservation? You see, in one house, this shower, this wash basin, and water being the water are being given water. The plants are given water. Now, first thing is the catchment areas. The catchment areas where water comes and it stays. It stays. That is the area which holds water. So that soil should hold water and the water should go inside the ground, that is the earth. So it percolates into deeper layers. So this will contribute to the groundwater because the groundwater is important. That is how we pump out that water and use it for irrigation in multiple places. For example, if you talk about Punjab, there is no water. But still because of the groundwater and because of the Nehar or the Indira Gandhi Nehar or Rajiv Gandhi, I don't remember the name. Because of this, the water is there. That is why we have highest wheat production there. So in these catchment areas, we need vegetation also. And also we need to use this catchment area for the underground water enhancement. Second thing is construction of dams or reservoirs. You can assume it to be reservoir also catchment areas. So constructing dams and having water somewhere. So you can regulate the water supply. Because if you put a dam, now you can regulate or you can send this water to multiple places. And you can put a turbine also, electricity, hydroelectricity can also be produced. Then the sewage treatment. Now this bad water or harmful water, dirty water which goes inside the actual water. So we need to treat them. We cannot just leave our dirt or the pollutants and effluents to just go without treatment to any water resources like water, like rivers or even the ocean. So this whole ecosystem of aquatic life, what will happen to it if we don't treat it? It will eventually be finished, shattered. Just because we want economic development, we cannot do this. So we need to clean it, okay? Next is industrial waste. Now we need industries, but the effluents, which are the harmful chemicals coming out of the different industrial waste, we need to prevent this chemical. And also the thermal pollution. What is thermal pollution? See, if the water coming out of the industries are very hot. Now what will happen? What will happen if boiling water, if it can boil egg, and if I put some human inside it, what will happen to him? Same thing you are doing here. You are putting hot water inside this water, and you have different organism like fish there. So you need to use the water with mind judiciously in a sustainable way. First thing, this is the unjustifiable, not judicious use of water. So you need to be very careful whenever the tap is flowing, whenever this water is scarce. Don't use water wherever it is not required, because you save water and that is for other person also. One more important thing is rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting, that is, you can store water and recharge groundwater. In Tamil Nadu, you are given a special subsidy for this because water is scarce. So this is a step by step. Water comes here, and then water you try to grab it, and then you send it to certain tank, and this tank can hold water for your later use. And this collection tank, maybe you may not be able to use it for drinking, but still it can increase the groundwater content, and also you can use it for other purposes, especially in the areas which are very near to the equator. So this is how the rainwater harvesting is very important. And there is one village which is all the houses have rainwater harvesting. Then the watershed. Watershed is a single unit of land with its water drainage system, which is including the soil and water management for developing vegetative cover in this area. So you have this area. Now it has a drainage system, that is the water is flowing. And then we do all the soil conservation, we stop land erosion, we do the water management, and this drainage system is properly maintained, and that is called the watershed. So you do all the kind of thing because that water is essential to us. I'll just show here. This is the only water source. So all this community need water. And for that water, they have to do all kind of water management. So plant tree, clean water, land erosion can be stopped. All this using the watershed. Energy conservation. So there are lot many resources from where we get energy, power. How to conserve them? So we are using a lot of non-renewable energy resource. Non-renewable energy resources, that is, they are limited. Once we use it, they are not going to be there. They will be finished. They will get extinct. They will not be there forever. Because either they are limited, or if you use it, it will take millions of years to be formed. So the reason is, the idea is to safeguard them, to use them as little as possible. So how to use them? The conservation of resources or energy means that we use them efficiently and make it available to everyone and use it sustainably. A sustainable development kind of thing should be there for energy resources. What are the ways of conserving energy? The first thing is, whenever you are in house or office, light is not required, fan is not required, TV, electrical appliances, whatever is there. If it is not required, don't use it. Switch it off. Energy is coming from electricity. Electricity is maximum produced from coal. Don't have an idea that hydroelectricity is much. Everything is coming from coal. And this is a non-renewable energy resources. Then, whatever bulbs you are using, use the LED bulb and energy efficient bulb. Keep the bulbs and tube clean. Once you have dirt, you will be getting less light and you will go for some other bulb. And if you even clean the lights 10 to 20%, improve lighting and the energy consumption will be less. So in a fry pan, what we do? We always cook on a fry pan, especially the non-veg, which take a lot of time to cook. So the best way is to use pressure cooker. Ultimately, you are using gas or LPG. That is a source of energy. Whenever you cook, then keep your vessel covered with a lid. That is, you will use less energy and the cooking will be faster. So ultimately, you will be saving the energy. And the electrical items like the air conditioners, like the geysers, heaters, dryers, as I said, whichever has motors, they will always use a lot of energy, immense energy, and use them when it is very much required. Don't keep your refrigerator open for a long time. Okay, now when you have a hot food, just don't keep it in the fridge because it will consume double energy. First cool it down and then you put it in your refrigerator. As I said, pressure cooker, solar cooker, the traditional rather than traditional ways, use these renewable sources of energy. How about going to office in a car with a single man? Do a carpooling. In Corona time, it is difficult, but still try to pool. Use the public buses, public travel. So unplug electronics when it is not required. Use temperature wherever it is either refrigerator or AC. All the appliances should be say 5-star, 4-star, all these 6 stars are ratings are there. Food conservation. See, food takes a lot of time and effort, energy to be grown and to put on your plate. So here we have seen today, maybe people are rich or they have a lot of money, they will leave half of the food. Why? They think this is their right, or because they have purchased their food, they can leave it. Because what you have left is not being used. In a developing country, people say that the dogs and cat will eat. It's not like that. Once you waste the food, who is going to eat? So the food which is there, which is remaining, give it to some warehouses, keep it into some warehouses, keep it in your refrigerator. Because food, as I said, is again has come from a lot of energy, usage. If you see our Food Corporation of India, these godowns, there are a lot of water and rain, they get spoiled. So you give it to those who require it. If you keep it outside, bacteria and microorganisms will always be there. So what I'm trying to say is to conserve them, to keep them for long, not to waste them. Not even a single point of food should be wasted. Forest conservation. What does it mean? First is you need forest. Don't cut forest. Grow forest. It gives us oxygen. It gives us all the material for our life. Wood, forest, has flora and fauna that gives so many things to us. For example, in Mumbai, Arya Jungle was, when it was cut, people were against it. And the government which were not in power, they said, if we come to power, will not allow this Arya Jungle to be cut. And this happened. So you need to have a forest cover, say 30%, 40%. You need to have trees in between buildings. We cannot have just a concrete jungle. So you need to participate. Whatever local authority has said, this much of trees has to be there, it has to be there. So you have to do something to stop these trees to be cut. And it is important. You need to start some forest conservation program like this. This is our life. Now let us come to the question and answer. What does conservation of energy mean? Choose all the options that apply. That means if you first see all these options seems to be fine, okay. But if we see them carefully, saving energy is the correct one, not the producing energy. Using energy efficiently is the correct one. Creating energy resources or sources is wrong. So we are not choosing all of them, though they seem to be correct. But especially conservation of energy means saving the energy and using the energy efficiently. Right? It is not producing energy or it is not creating energy resources or sources. So conservation of energy, we will take the A and C. This is the correct answer. Which of the following are non-renewable resources? So there are two types of category of resources, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable are those which once used will replenish themselves, renew themselves. And non-renewable, that is the quantity is limited and they will not be there. The quantity is limited. They take a lot of time, lakhs and millions of years to come. So coal and diesel are non-renewable, sun and water are renewable. Here we took A and C, the first part, and second is A and B. Which of the following is an example of renewable resources? We just talked about renewable and non-renewable. So coal has gone up, so it's just cancel it. Solar energy, others they are all non-renewable. CNG is not, petroleum is not. So we have solar energy. Solar energy is an example of renewable energy. The sun will always be there. We don't know about the future, but sun will always be there. So these are question and answer. If you see the first and fourth, write any three actions which can take to conserve energy. State any three ways by which we can save energy. So conserving and saving, this almost same, but we will try to highlight the difference. A very minor difference is there. So what is there? Write any 5 actions. There are 3 being asked. We are doing the 5 actions which you can take to conserve the energy. So this you don't have to remember. It has to be in your life. It has to be in your life, right? So whenever you see light or any electrical appliances which is not required but it is still on, close it, switch it off, and make your house so that maximum sunlight comes, and just open your windows so that you get the fresh air. Fresh air you need. And tube lights, bulbs, just clean it, because just by cleaning you will save 10 to 20% of energy. Whenever you cook, always close the lid while cleaning, because it will conserve the energy and also it will cook your food faster. So these are the method. You can also use pressure cooker. Do not keep the door of the refrigerator open for a long time because it will use excessive energy. Whenever you are going somewhere in car or wherever, always use the carpooling or use the public transport. Because see, three car energy consumption will be saved if you go by one car. Describe any 5 methods of water conservation. So see, water is life. Without this water, air and food, you will not be able to survive. You can survive without any other thing. So what to do? First is constructing the dams and then reservoirs. That is, you can stop the flood. You will be able to regulate the water. You can send it to wherever it is wanted for irrigation and other purpose, maybe for this drinking purpose. You can also produce this hydroelectricity. So the kinetic energy you get from the potential energy and the turbines can move. The industrial wastage that they are called the effluents should be treated to prevent chemical and thermal pollution of fresh water, because you cannot just throw dirty water into rivers and oceans, because ultimately they will go into the soil, they will go into the air, they will go into our food chain. Rainwater harvesting is very important. Whatever this water is coming, conserve it, rainwater, and put it in some tank. It increases the groundwater also, and you can use it whenever it is required, and especially those places where the water is scarce. There is a village in India where every house has rainwater harvesting plant. Sewage, that is the waste, human excrete and other waste, you need to clean it before it goes to any water resources. Always use the water in a judicious way in your day-to-day life. You are taking bath, you are drinking water, you are cleaning your car. Do it judiciously, because water saved is water produced. We have all over water globe, but it is not fit for drinking. What is the purpose of soil conservation? What is soil conservation? Land conservation. Land conservation, that is, so main thing is you need to stop soil erosion. This is the main key here. You have to stop this soil erosion. Whenever wind is there, that is the air with a velocity. Then we have that is air with velocity. Then you have the water in the strong rain. Then the glaciers coming down. All these will take up the upper part of the earth, and that is soil erosion. We cannot let this happen, because upper part has all the nutrients or the fertility. So you have to maintain the soil fertility. Always use the organic this fertilizers, manure, and try to rotate the crop or grow the crop, multiple crop at one place. See, second thing is grazing. We just leave animals, especially in the developing and underdeveloped country, and they will graze out everything, they will eat everything. Reforestation means if you cut one tree, you need to grow 10 trees. This is reforestation. See, the forest line will stop the storm, it will stop the soil erosion. Not terracing, because it is of slope in the hilly areas, water will take up the upper layer. So you have to do the step farming, contour plowing. That is, you will do like this. These are the ways in which, so that the water remains and it doesn't take the upper part of your fertile land or soil erosion take place. Okay, so you will be able to do agriculture, and soil conservation can also be possible. State any 3 ways by which we can save energy. So conserve energy, save energy. With this we already discussed in the chapter also. So if you want to write this, these are the points you're going to write. Okay.